Hello everyone and welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem webinar room. My name is Tiffany Sampson and I work for NinjaTrader in our Denver office. We have a very special event for you today with Mike, John, and Tim of NinjaTrader. I'd like to mention that it is important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity future contracts and Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond these amounts. Please inquire at the link provided for more information or for a copy of the CFTC full risk disclosure. Also, please remember all these training webinars are not a solicitation nor recommendation, but simply education in nature. This presentation is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is a technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directly directed to NinjaTrader Brokerage directly at the information provided. With new tools added nearly every day, NinjaTrader Ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find the tools or services you're looking for with a simple keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars and on-demand video archive to view event recordings at the link provided. Also, if you're active on social media, please ensure to like or follow us for the best way to get updates on all things NinjaTrader ecosystem. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and simulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of NinjaTrader and pick up a free live data trial, please visit the following link. You can purchase or lease NinjaTrader at the following link. And if you are just getting started with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. You can view a schedule of weekly webinars at the following link. We are very excited for this unique event in which Mike will demonstrate the capabilities and ease of using the Dimension8 toolsets. Thanks again for your attendance today, and without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader webinar room, Mike. Take it away, Mike.
Okay, Tiffany, thank you very much. And I just want to make sure that you're hearing me okay before I get started. And I assume that you are. Okay, well, welcome. And welcome to our webinar. And we're very happy to have a NinjaTrader ecosystem put this on for us. And we do thank you for attending. As always, as Tiffany said, all trading does involve risk. You should read our disclosure, and our complete disclosure document is on our website. We're not a huge company. My name is Mike Green. I'm I've been doing this for a long time. I am the owner and the developer of NinjaTrader trading software. Whenever you join us and purchase our products, I do the initial installation on your system for you while you watch us. I handle most technical issues, and we also hold bi-monthly meetings on the second and fourth Friday of every month where we teach our users ways that they can use our software. John Reed's been with us a long time as well. John is also a professional trader, and he's been doing it for over 25 years. Tim Hutton is actually was one of our users. He purchased our product about 2 years ago and has been doing quite well with it, and he has just recently joined our sales team. So that's who we are. What we have in our Dimension8 Compass package, there's over 40 accurate indicators, all designed to work with NinjaTrader 8. It enables you to build your own trading system, or you can use our pre-configured tool sets. We have 4 of them. We have our Compass model, our ABC Trader model, and our EasyTrader model, and our Neural Director model. What we're going to be primarily focused on today is the EasyTrader model. And what I'll be doing as we get further into the presentation will be to show you some live charts on several markets on how it did today. And so we'll be reviewing that as we move on. To really trade effectively, it's our belief that you really need market symmetry determining when to trade. And if you've got market symmetry, then the concept is to be able to have a market that is conducive to trading, because they are not all conducive to trading all the time, and it's important to know when to stand aside when the market's in a chopping condition or there's low volume. And the third thing that you need to know when to pull the trigger to enter a trade. It's been our experience that many traders in day trading, if they hesitate in executing the entry to the trade, they many times can miss the trade. Day trading is different than swing trading, and it's important to know the difference. Day trading, you've got to be more nimble, you got to be quick, and when the signal sets up based upon your criteria, you've got to pull the trigger. And I've talked to so many traders, they see the setups, they hesitate, and they try to confirm it with 3 or 4 other charts or something that they have on their system, and by the time they pull the trigger, the trade's over. So it's very important to pull the trigger when the setup happens. Market symmetry. The neural director will, that's one of our indicators, and our rangefinder indicators will help you determine the market symmetry. We need to know the direction to trade, which is very important, and when to stand aside. We have several tools that you can use to pull the trigger to get into them. I've listed several of them here. We have our exit reentry tool, our direction master, our golden signal, our actionator, our power play, and our squeeze, our EasyTrader buddy, and our actionator. All of these are excellent for pulling the trigger, and it's up to the users, because some users like to use one over the other, but they're all good. And what each of these tools do is that when the setup occurs, it will plot a native arrow or triangle on your chart. And the reason I say that, because that is important in using our ATM Entry Assistant, which we're going to be talking about. Tool set and the neural tool set. We're going to be reviewing the EasyTrader tool set primarily. I am going to show you a quick shot of what they look like. This is what the Compass tool set looks like, and as you can see, what we do is we try to keep a clean screen and only put on the screen what is necessary for trading. This is the EasyTrader screen. It's quite simple. Visually, you can see that on the EasyTrader, that when the bars are red, you're short, and when they turn green, you take longs, and it's very simple to see. And whenever that does occur, you always get an arrow that will plot on your screen, and that arrow can be used to automate the entry, and then you can manage it with your own personal ATM that you've designed. We do provide many sample ATMs in our setup when we install it on your machine, and they act as a very good starting basis for your own personal ATM that you might like to use. This is what the Compass looks like, and the Compass is basically, it uses our Trendex velocity tool right here, and it has our discretionator down here, and the bars are specialty bars, so we call them next bars, and our next bars are not a function of time. They are designed specially to be using volume and price to determine the bar, and they are quite unique and quite good. You also will notice too, see that line there? That's our fib line. We calculate all of the Fibonacci support and resistance zones for most futures and many Forex markets. We calculate those each and every single night. We post them up on our server, and your charts populate with those values automatically. These are the suggested rules. We publish these rules. These rules are on our website, and the Compass uses these indicators for firing a trade and for the longs and the shorts. You also have the capability, if you wish, to put the rules right on your chart. What most traders do is they will put them on their chart for the first day or two. Then, of course, they become very familiar with them, and then they take the rules off of their chart so they can have the territory on the screen. This is the EasyTrader tool set. Very, very easy on the eyes. What you see here, there's a short right there, and there's a long here, there's a long there. The bar turns green, you go long. The bar turns red, you go short. It's really, really that simple. You also will see on this chart our fib lines, and we also have Fibonacci extensions, both major and minor, and they plot automatically. These small dotted cyan lines are major Fibonacci extensions, and the little purple ones down here are minor Fibonacci extensions. Many times they can function as target areas. You also will notice that we plot the ABCs on here, where you can find some excellent B longs and C longs trades like you see in this screen here, or the reverse, of course, would be a B short and a C short. One of the most exciting things that we've created in the last year or so is our ATM AutoEntry Assistant. It gets you into the trade quite simply, and that's what the whole purpose of it is. This gives you the capability to design an advanced trading system using our indicators, or for that matter, any other an indicator that you may have, and as long as that indicator has the capability of using a native arrow within NinjaTrader or a native triangle within NinjaTrader 8, our system will work with it. You have the capability with this to use up to 5 indicators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You also have the capability to use the Danton stop, which is built into this if you want to use it. You also have the capability to go in at market, or you can go in on a limit order. And one of the things that that is a killer for a lot of people when they're day trading is the order goes in and they get slippage. And I can guarantee you, whenever you go in at market, you're going to go in and you're going to get slippage. And depending on the market, that slippage could be very significant. From, on the Russell, you're going to get a lot of slippage. It's not unusual if you're trading crude oil or gold to get 1 or 2 tick slippage. What most of our users do is they go in on a they don't check that, and they go in on a limit order. And that limit order is determined by the close of the signal bar, and I'll be pointing that out on our real charts. And you have the capability to go in on the close of the signal bar, or you can have it try to improve the entry of the signal bar. So if you're going long, it would, and you put a 1 in there, for example, it would take the close of the signal bar and subtract 1 tick, and it would go in on a limit long entry at that level, or you can put in a -1. You also have the capability, let's say you have 5 indicators in here. Well, you can override these conditions by putting in a Boolean expression, simply an algebraic expression, where you can mix and match how you want these indicators to interact with each other to actually indicate the trade signal. So it's very simple to use, and it gives the user, with no programming experience at all to really develop a quite sophisticated automatic entry system. And we're going to be going over that very thoroughly when we get into the real charts. The next thing we do is, you'll see this on our website, and I'll show it to you, is that we have what we call our virtual demo room. And we, each trading day or each market day, we have a different, we actually show this real time. And for example, like today is Thursday, we're showing crude oil and the E-mini. And it's being shown with the EasyTrader, which you can actually watch our software, the EasyTrader software, work real time simply by going to our website and going to the location to where you can get into that. And I'll show you how to do that. On the site, you'll see a little tag that looks like this. It says Virtual Live Demo. All you would have to do is to click on that and put in the entry code, and it takes you immediately into the room. If you don't know the entry code, you click on that below it, and it gives you a little form to fill out, and as soon as you submit it, within 10 seconds, it sends you back the entry code to get into the room. And what most people do before they join us, they watch us for a bit, and so they can actually see the software work real time. What I'm going to do at this point is we're going to go to our website, and then we're going to look at some real charts. Okay, so let's go to monitor 2. Okay, start screen sharing. Okay, there you go. Well, that's set up, but that wasn't too big of a deal. This is our website. Our URL is Dimensiontrader.com. You can see it right up here. And this is me here, so you know what I look like. And all you have to do to get into the virtual demo is simply to go up to Software and click on Live Virtual Demo. And it will take you to this site right here. And here's the schedule. And you can see what the schedule, this is what we're doing today. To get into the room, all you would simply do would be to click Live Virtual Demo, and then you put in the entry code, and it will take you right into the room. And it's but you got to have the code. If you don't know the code, you click here for the code, and you get a little screen that comes up, and you fill that out, and then you'll get back the code to get into the room. Also, you might want to, once you get into this and we're finished with this, there is a link here to watch the AutoEntry Assistant video. It's about a 25-minute video on the complete ins and outs of the AutoEntry Assistant. And it's a very thorough presentation on how to use it and how to set it up. And you can watch that at your leisure. Okay, we do encourage people, if you are interested in this and you want to know more detail and want to talk to us personally, you can always schedule a private demo, and then in that private demo we usually and then we can set that up, and then John, Tim, and I will be in there, and we'll spend as much time with you as you want to spend with us, and we'll give you a very, very thorough demonstration on how the product works and answer all of your questions that you may have. Okay. Also, if you click on Overview, this presentation will step you through portions of what we're doing right now. But you can also watch the most recent webinar that we have. We did one on the 19th, and then if you care to watch that, you can go watch that as well. So at this point, what I think I would like to do would be to go to the real-time charts, And what you're looking at here, and what I'm going to be using this example for, is to demonstrate just how easy it is to use the AutoEntry Assistant. On this chart, I only have two indicators, and I will show you what they are. We have got the EasyTrader Buddy, and we've got the Danton. And you will notice that we have the arrow turned on for the EasyTrader Buddy, and we have the arrow turned on for the Danton. And what we're going to be using for firing a signal is going to be the EasyTrader Buddy. So, and you can see right here, see where these two dots line up? And let me put a little crosshair up here. Where those dots line up right here, and you see the arrow plot. And there's the arrow right there. And let me show you that the close of that bar right there is 5814. So when that arrow is seen by the ATM Entry Assistant, it will put in a limit order to go in at 5814 on the very next bar. And that's just how it works. And here's one here. You can see it fire right there. So how do you set that up and turn this into an automatic trader? It's very simple. You right-click on the chart and you put on a strategy and you put on the DOF ATM Entry Assistant. And we can use a Danton stop if we want to. If you're not using a trailing stop in your ATM strategy, it's probably advised to use the Danton stop so you do have it in place. We suggest a middle of the road sensitivity is around 12. You unclick market, and so what this says is that it's going to go in on a market order at the close of the signal bar. Since we're only using one indicator, and I'll just name it the Buddy because that's what it is, I typically like to change that to a 2. Why this is important, and I'll point this out. Let's say we're using, let's say if I were going to use the Danton as well, okay? And I put a 2 in there. What that means is that, to show you, there is the Danton right there. See the Danton there? And that's bar 0, okay? This is bar 1. If the Buddy doesn't fire within bar 2, it will not take the trade. But as you can see there's bar 0, bar 1, so that would fire. Now let's go back and finalize how you would set this up. But this is all really fully explained in that 25-minute video that I pointed out to you earlier. Okay, so we've got the Danton and the Buddy, and then of course the last thing that you have to do is to pick the account. And I'll just leave it on the Sim 101. And so I click OK, and it's now set up and it's ready to go. So the next thing you have to do is you have to turn it on. So I just turned it on, and you can see up here at the top, it's got trade long, trade short, and then it's got a little drop down menu, and we provide all of these sample ATMs that you can use. T stands for target, S stands for stop, MIT of course stands for market if touched. If it has this after it, then it's using some sort of a trailing stop function. The favorite one that many of our users like to use is either this one here where it has a target of 8, an initial stop of 11, and for each tick it's in the money, it begins to trail by 10 ticks. Once it gets to 5, it goes to break even automatically. So let's just pick that one. Okay, so we've got that on there, and of course you like to put your chart trader on there, and you pick the same one that we just put on there, and that would be this one right here. Okay, now what I can do is, you can see the market's obviously shut down now, but you can see right now the last trade that we had was a short. So what you're looking for next is a long trade, so you turn it on. So the next time that you get a setup where you get the Danton and the As you see, there's the Danton stop right there. And so 1, 2, this trade here would have fired with this setup, and this trade here would have fired with that setup. And it's really that simple. Once the trade fires, of course, you get your little markers here for those that are familiar with the NinjaTrader 8. You get your little markers in. You can move it as you want to. And for example, like if I were to just put one on here, let's just put one on here for fun. And then it puts that in there. Then, of course, once you're in looks like you can move your stops whatever way, you know your target or your stops whenever way you want, okay? And that's the way most people would use it. But it will fire the trade once that setup happens. And it's really quick. I mean, sometimes it even surprises me, to be frank about it. As soon as you get the signal, because the computer is going to be able to respond to the setup quicker than you can generally do it yourself. And that's what the real beauty of the ATM Entry Assistant is. So, that being said, what I'm going to do next is to move on to the next. This is our Zone Trader 2 indicator. It is, we developed this, I'm going to say, about 20 years ago, and it's still very, very good. In the very early stages, this was all we had, and this was about 20 years ago, I think, before NinjaTrader was even around, to be honest with you. I've been with NinjaTrader, I think, since day one. It's a great product, by the way. Initially, all of our stuff was on TradeStation, but we have since ported everything to Ninja and only support NinjaTrader and no longer support TradeStation because NinjaTrader is far better. And but what we have on this is we have what we call a balance line, which is what this line is here. And when it's support, it's green, and when it's resistance, it's red. You also will notice we have what we call our big triggers, which are right here, and we have our small triggers. And here you see the Danton stop, which is what these little green dots are. And here you see our fib lines. You can see our fib lines here, and you can see, we call this a fib zone. These dots that I showed you in the PowerPoint presentation are the major Fibonacci extensions, and these little pink ones are the minor Fibonacci extensions. You also have the capability to have it do automatic retracements for you simply by turning the feature on or off inside of the indicator. It also has the capability by locating MACD divergences. That's what these are here, these lines here. And on the indicator itself, you can go down here, and on the Zone Trader Assistant, you have the capability of turning all of these functions on or off simply by putting a check mark inside of the indicator. So if you don't want to use a function, for example, if you don't want to draw the retracements, all you do is turn it off like that and just reapply your chart, and you see the retracements went away. It's a very, very powerful indicator, and it's got a lot of functionality. And let's see, the power fibs, we talked about that. The next thing we talked about were trigger mechanisms. This chart is showing several of our indicators that can be used as triggers. This is, most people, of course, aren't going to use all of them on a strategy. We have users that determine what they like better. We do define what we use on the 4 tool sets that we provide, by the way, on our workspaces. We do provide pre-configured workspaces for each of those tool sets. And we also provide pre-configured workspaces for the workspaces that are designed in our Insiders Club. And those are all made available to our users. But you can see what happens is when the signal sets up, you get these arrows, okay? And those arrows are what's important for executing the trade within the ATM Entry Assistant. Then you have this setup. These are really for the market symmetry, for determining what is the market direction. We have our neural director here, okay? This is based upon pivot structure. And pivot structure is so important. There are nine different pivot structures that can form, and what the neural director will do will tell you what the condition is at the moment when, just by the color of what you see here, the green and the yellow and cyan. Let's see if I can find a cyan here. Green, yellow, and cyan. There's the cyan there. Green, yellow, and cyan are up trends, and golden and red and magenta are down. And it also will tell you in plain English what you should be thinking about doing. Also built into this is what we call our actionator, which is based on a longer-term chart. So for example, you can see right here, just as we're speaking, this went to this location right here. And the reason it did that, because it took this pivot out. See right there? And it changed. When that pivot right there was taken out, right there, okay? You see it right there? It changed immediately to purple, okay? And the reason it's purple, because that means that the structure is saying down now. And but the actionator on the longer term chart that is built into the neural director is up. So that's the reason it is magenta. If the actionator was down, that would be red. We also have our rangefinder. The real beauty of the rangefinder primarily are these white dots. These white dots will give you a pretty good heads up that you may be going into a choppy area. And that can be quite valuable, okay? And the ZTA trend is a function of the balance line. If the balance line is green, this is going to be green. If the balance line is red, it's going to be, if the balance line is red, this is going to be red. And what that is doing primarily is showing you what the trend is. And of course, remember the balance line is this thing right here in the middle, okay? So when that balance line is green, the primary trend direction is up, and when it's red, it's down. And you can see that immediately with this indicator down here if you want. What I'm going to do now is to go into the EasyTrader. This is the EasyTrader screen. It doesn't get much cleaner than that, folks. And this is crude oil. We're on the January contract. You can see you have the capability of plotting the rules if you want. If you don't want those rules on there, all you have to do is to go into your indicators. Oops, I don't want strategies. You want indicators, and go down here and simply go down here and turn off, and then just remove the rules right there. Just remove those rules, and if you do that, this goes away. Most people, once they understand that you buy green bars and you sell red bars, they really don't need that, okay? But it does tell you what sets them up. It's also important to note, and what I'm going to review here, is markets don't trade well all of the time, and most of you folks probably know that. Crude oil is one of my favorite markets, and gold is one of my favorite markets. And we have many of our users are trading both. It also trades well on the E-mini, but I'll show you those as we move forward. But the best time is to start thinking about trading the crude oil is either at the London Open, okay, and currently I think the London Open is at around 2 o'clock or so. But there's a trade here. You have a setup there. There's a small winner there. There's a nice winner there. A nice winner there. So the folks that are trading in London would have got these. There's one right there. See the trades? I mean, that's out of the London Open. And those folks, you can see the trades. I mean, they're killer trades. This happens every day, folks. From people in the U.S. Usually start to look at the trade around 8:30, 8:45. There's the first trade here this morning that occurred. It seems like there's almost always a good trade at 9 o'clock. That's Eastern time. That's the time frame that I'm in. There's a trade here, and there's a trade there. Okay. Now this is a good point for me to point this out. There's an old saying, "What the market giveth, the market taketh away." You all know that. And the reason I say that, it is important that when you're trading, especially day trading, that you have a daily goal. I don't care what your daily goal is. I don't care whether it's 5 ticks or 10 ticks or 20 ticks a contract. You should have a daily goal, and once you reach your daily goal, you should quit trading. I preach that to all of our users every time we do an Insiders Club. One of the things that is that I always ask when somebody comes new with this, I ask the question, how much money do you want to make? Well, I want to make as much as possible. Well, those people generally don't make any money at all because they wind up giving it all back because they don't know when to quit, because they don't have a business plan. And you should have a business plan, and it could be as simple as saying, I want to make 10 ticks per contract per day, and once I make those 10 ticks, I'm going to quit trading till the next day. And then you also want to trade during what I like to call the sweet spot. The sweet spot on crude oil for the U.S. market typically is from about 8:30 to 11. Does that mean it doesn't trade well? And other times it does. But you can see with these two trades here, you ought to have been able to make your daily goal. Okay? I mean, this trade here, for example, fired at, let's pull this up just for information, the close of the signal bar. See the little white arrow right there? There's the white arrow, and there is the close of that signal bar was 57.49, so it went in on a limit at 57.49 and got you in right there. And that trade stayed well above the Danton stop this whole time, and it got as high as 57.77. There's various ways to trade that, either all in or all out. It's up to you. Some people like to have, they go in with multiple contracts and they take some off at a certain point and then they let a certain number of them run. But clearly what you can see is how easy this is to fire. There's the two trades here. This trade here, these two here didn't do so well, as you can see. But by this time, you're reaching the time of day where you ought to be thinking about not trading. But there's another one that won. There's one here. And but that's how it looked on crude oil today. And it's just so simple to see. Here's gold. The real beauty of this too is that if you understand the model works the same with any instrument you put it on. So you don't have to learn a new chart. If you learn the chart, you know what the chart's doing, you know how to trade it. And also, you ought to trade really, because each market has a different personality, and I think you should know that. And before you start trading a market live, you ought to really watch that market, I say, for a good month, so you know the personality of the market, whether it be crude oil or gold or euro or whatever. Every market has a different personality, and it's important to know that personality. I frequently get asked the question by users, they like to trade multiple markets at the same time. I just, when folks ask me that, I say, why? Why do you need to trade multiple markets at the same time? Because it's very easy to get confused, and because of the personalities of the markets. If you want to trade gold, trade gold. If you want to trade crude oil, trade crude oil. If you want to trade the E-mini, trade the E-mini, but focus on it and learn the market personality. If you want to make more money, the reason people like to trade multiple markets is because some markets will, get into a choppy period and they want to go to another one. Well, take a break when that happens. Day trading can be very strenuous, and when you are day trading, and take the window that you're going to trade in, if it's 8:30 to 10:30, 8:30 to 11, whatever it is, and stay totally focused. Don't let anything get in your way. Shut your door to your office. Don't take any telephone calls. Don't try to multitask. Focus on your chart, and if you do that, you'll probably do fairly well. If you don't, you'll miss stuff. If you're trying to trade multiple markets, you're going to get confused. And unless you're super brilliant, I'm not that smart, to be honest with you. I can only trade one market at a time. And so just a word of the wise. This is the E-mini. E-mini, of course, you all know, opens up here at 8:30, I should say 9:30. Here's the first trade of the morning right there. Okay, with the E-mini, you had 1 and 2 and 3. That's the E-mini. If your goal is 10 ticks, you easily should have gotten 10 ticks out of that. The NASDAQ is not one of my favorites. I just don't personally like the NASDAQ, but it will work on the NASDAQ. It will work on any market that there is volume on. But you can see that the EasyTrader is so easy to see. The signals are clear. Green bars buy, red bars sell. Green bars buy, white bars you're neutral, green bars you buy. This is the NASDAQ, but you can see the NASDAQ has many more bars than most markets, but you can see the NASDAQ. And I will point out again, because I did this when I was doing the PowerPoint, and I'm almost at it. Okay, so these are all specialty next bars, and this is the euro. Works on the euro as well, so as you can see. So that's pretty much what I was wanting to present. It looks like it's about time to switch back, and let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation, and we're back on the PowerPoint. At this point, let's go to the, we're going to move into questions and answers, and thank everyone that has been attending. Everybody wants to know what the product cost. Because you're here, if you purchase the complete package, which includes the EasyTrader tool set, the Compass tool set, and the ABC Trader tool set, and the Neural tool set, and the ATM Entry Assistant, the package cost is $4,495. We're going to give a $500 discount off of that because you're here for this special webinar with NinjaTrader. And if you purchase no later than November 29th, the code is NinjaTrader8. Or if you are only interested in the EasyTrader, you can buy that for $2,500, and you have to purchase the ATM Entry Assistant separately. It's $495, but there's no discount just for that purchase. So that's pretty much it, I think. Let's see. If you have any questions at all, feel free to give John a call at area code 605-610-3060. You can reach Tim at area code 469-426-5654, and you can Skype Tim. Well, you can Skype John Reeves Trader, or Tim at Tim Futures Trader. I personally want to thank everybody for attending our webinar, and a special thanks to Tiffany. She put up with us trying to learn how to do this on their system, and she's a good teacher. And a very special thanks to NinjaTrader ecosystem. So I don't have any other presentation stuff to present. I've tried to stay within the time limits. We are open for any questions. So, Tiffany, you can decide what we're going to do here.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I do want to give a special thank you to Mike, Tim, and John for a great presentation. Everyone in attendance here today will receive an on-demand recording of today's event, so just keep an eye open for that email. NinjaTrader ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients. If you find value in these events, we hope you will attend them on a regular basis. Additionally, we would like to remind you the information provided in this was of NinjaTrader and not of NinjaTraders. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we appreciate the time you spend with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us in NinjaTrader ecosystem.